Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschachate Shatarine Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhaevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. So very happy to see so many people here this morning. Certainly it's a very glorious event to celebrate this 25th anniversary of our Mayapur Institute. I had the opportunity, first of all, well, we began in Vrindavan. Vrindavan, of course, was where the Shastric studies began, and then quickly began also, Mayapur also took it up. So over the years I've been putting more time into being in Mayapur. We've had the opportunity to see the course develop, the courses. We began with one course, of course so many more courses coming up. Now we have like about 40 courses which are running. And the number of students who are enrolled are not only they don't just only live here in Mayapur, but we have many courses online. So a lot of people are there online, and they benefit a lot from having the opportunity to attend classes, to take part in courses. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur instructed Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati. Before he departed from this world, Bhaktivinoda Thakur requested Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati that you please establish one educational institute in Mayapur. So Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati wanted very much that, and we see also Bhaktivinoda Thakur school is there on the road as we come along from, if you come from the Ghat and you can come up, you can see Bhaktivinoda Thakur's educational institute is there. However, we like to establish something on a bigger scale. We want to encourage more the education in transcendental knowledge. There are so many institutes which cater for material knowledge, for cultivating what we would call avidya. But our Krishna conscious society is focused more on transcendental knowledge, vidya, and that means studying scriptures, and certainly Srila Prabhupada wanted that, and he wanted it would be done in Mayapur especially, that we would have a nice educational institute here. So it's very wonderful how things have developed here. I don't know how it happens, but somehow it just seemed to come about by the grace of Krishna. You can tell Krishna is really helping a lot to develop the institute here. We have a very nice ashram for men, and we hope in the future there will also be an ashram where the females can also be accommodated, because ladies are also encouraged to study, and they study also very nicely. So whether you're male or female, whether you're young or old, we encourage everyone to take time to attend and take part in these courses. It's such a nice opportunity to hear and associate with devotees. People living in remote parts of the world, they don't have the opportunity. You know, there's so many devotees in different places where there's no temple, where there's no namhata, there's no association. But if we have these courses, they can come online and they can take part and they can be greatly benefited. And they really appreciate that opportunity to hear and to associate with devotees, to get that education which is so important to cultivate spiritual knowledge. hearing topics of Krishna in the association of the devotees. This is our real business as devotees. So especially when we come to holy places like Mayapur, it's in Mayapur Dham where we can really absorb ourselves in the nectar of hearing and chanting. And we want to have more and more courses, more and more classes, and see more and more students take part. I think it's something which we have to encourage more and more, that, you know, just simply taking a course one time, often it's not enough, that people need to be refreshed. I know sometimes teachers come, just like I was in China one time, and I remember there were some people coming from Europe. They were teaching Chinese in Europe, and they come to China and they stay there in China, in the university in China, and they practice their Chinese there. And then they go back to their country in Europe and they're teaching there. So similarly, it would be nice for the devotees to come to Mayapur and spend time in Mayapur. And it should be quite regular, if not every year, every 2 or 3 years, maximum every 5 years. You know, I've been a devotee now more than 50 years, so I take the opportunity to try to spend more and more time here in Mayapur. And when people ask me, what's your home? I say, Mayapur. That this is my home, this is where my heart is, and I definitely want to see more and more things develop here in Mayapur. And the Mayapur Institute is a very dynamic thing which is happening, and I'm very happy to be part of this institute. Hare Krishna.
So now we have amongst us His Holiness Bhakti Vighna Vinasa Narasimha Swami. Maharaj is well known in ISKCON for his simplicity. All of us we know. And I personally, submit myself to Maharaj when I see how simple he is, and he inspires me a lot in my personal life, I can tell you. I was traveling with Maharaj for some time, and I have seen him not only here, even outside. He is not claiming himself like a big sannyasi, Prabhupada disciple, but Maharaj has a very unique quality when it comes to connecting, respecting Vaishnavas. So in this moment, I invited Maharaj to fill the gap. Maharaj was supposed to give the keynote address. That has to have a keynote address. So therefore, Maharaj is here with us. Let us invite His Holiness Bhakti Vighna Vinasa Narasimha Swami to give keynote address for today's celebration.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Padmanabhan Prabhu.
हरि बोल।
हरे कृष्णा। तो आज श्री श्रीमद जयप्रताप स्वामी महाराजेर एखाने उपस्थित থাকার কথা ছিল এবং প্রধান বক্তৃতা দেওয়ার কথা ছিল, কিন্তু আপনারা সকলেই অবগত, আমরা জানতে পেরেছি তিনি অত্যন্ত অসুস্থ এবং সেই জন্য তার অসুস্থতার কারণে তিনি উপস্থিত হতে পারেননি। এবং আপনারা জানেন এইরকম ধরনের একটা অনুষ্ঠানে মহারাজ একেবারে যুবকের মতন উনি উজ্জীবিত হন এবং তিনি খুবই আগ্রহ প্রকাশ করেন, কিন্তু এই সময় উনি অত্যন্ত অসুস্থতার কারণে আসতে পারেননি। তাই আমরা শ্রী শ্রীমদ ভক্তি বিঘ্ন বিনাশন নরসিংহ স্বামী মহারাজকে অনুরোধ করছি তার স্থান গ্রহণ করতে। এবং আমরা সকলেই জানি শ্রী শ্রীমদ ভক্তি বিঘ্ন বিনাশন নরসিংহ স্বামী মহারাজ উনি ইসকনে সর্বজনবিদিত ওনার সরলতার জন্য এবং ব্যক্তিগত জীবনেও উনি আমার এক বিশেষ অনুপ্রেরণার কারণ এবং এইভাবে ইসকনের ভক্তবৃন্দ তাছাড়াও বাইরের যে সমস্ত শ্রদ্ধালুগণ সকলের জন্য মহারাজ এক অত্যন্ত অনুপ্রেরণার কারণ। তাই আমরা মহারাজকে অনুরোধ করছি দয়া করে মহারাজ এই প্রাথমিক ভাষণ প্রদান করুন। হরে কৃষ্ণ।
Om Jnanatimarandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chaksurun Militan Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. So thank you all for tolerating. I'm not a very good substitute for Srila Jayapataka Swami Maharaj, but I would just do my best. Srila Jayapataka Swami Maharaj, of course, has done so much wonderful service here in the Mayapur Dham, establishing Mayapur in the very beginning. Of course, he was the first. He came here to Calcutta. It must have been 1969. Came to Calcutta and with the Chutananda. They were there in Calcutta. And then they came. Prabhupada brought them out to Mayapur. And the Bhajan Kutir is there. That was the original temple in Mayapur. And like the Mayapur Institute, we've been hearing about the beginnings of the Mayapur Institute. So the Mayapur temple also had its beginnings. You know, we began in the Bhajan Kutir. I came Mayapur first time 1975. There was the Lotus building. That was the only building. And most of us slept on the veranda. I slept on the veranda for a few years, I think. And then they built the wall, and along the wall where the shops are, we were living in rooms there for some time. And then they built the long building, and so we got some accommodation there. So gradually, things coming up. So similarly with our Mayapur Institute, it takes time to develop things. Rupa Goswami says, enthusiasm, patience, and determination are necessary in everything. Prabhupada writes, in everything. Rupa Goswami mentions them as being very favorable for developing our devotional service. So similarly here, in the case of the Mayapur Institute, it took a lot of patience and determination and enthusiasm. You know, when you have a government, every government in the world, they make some allocation for education. Education is a very important part in every country in the world. They will spend a lot of money to give to schools and universities and so on. But here our Mayapur Institute, nobody's really giving, you know, nobody's got money to give to Mayapur Institute, but somehow it comes just by the efforts of the devotees, just by preaching. And that preaching is going on, not only here in Mayapur, of course, but there's many wonderful other preaching centers going on. One is like in Mangalore, for example. Atul Krishna Prabhu helped a lot there, gave them a lot of instruction in how they could develop their educational program. And in Mangalore, they're having many courses in many different languages, and they have hundreds of teachers. So here in Mayapur, we try to get people to come and stay here in Mayapur, to spend 4 months and study, take a course like Bhakti Shastri or Bhakti V.V. And if they can stay here in the Holy Dham, it's very spiritually rejuvenating, has a very powerful effect, just to be here in the Holy Dham for that time and to be absorbed in Shastric study. So we're trying to develop this program, and it takes time. We're seeing more and more people, though. Those who come and who have the opportunity to stay here, take shelter in the ashram and attend the courses, they're really very fortunate, and they definitely get a lot of benefit from it. And we want to give more and more people the opportunity. It was very nice to hear Srivas Prabhu tell us how he got a scholarship. The Janmastami Prabhu welcomed him, although he came with no money, but Janmastami arranged for his accommodation and for him to come and learn. And that's really what's required. If a person may have some financial difficulties, then tell us about it, and we can make some arrangements for you to study. The main thing is we want to see that sincerity, the desire that you really want to study and to learn. And it's very valuable once you come and learn, then you go out and tell others about it. You go out and preach. We come here and we get nice association, we do a lot of hearing and chanting, and then after studying and after graduating, then you go off and continue the preaching. So we have many nice courses being developed, just like we have also ISKCON Disciple Course, which has been made compulsory by the GBC. The GBC body said anyone coming for initiation, they must attend the Disciple Course. And I found that's a very valuable course, and I think it needs to be taught more and more, because a lot of times what's there in the Disciple Course is forgotten about. The people hear it, but they forget the message. So we need to have these courses, they need to be continued, and they need to be sometimes revived and improved. As Atul Krishna Prabhu described, in the Bhakti Shastric teaching, as well as in the other courses, we try to make them interactive, to get the students involved. You go to school and it's often just didactic learning. India, of course, is very typical of this. You go to school, you have to memorize everything verbatim. Every word, you should know everything, the way they present it. You should just repeat. So in Mayapur Institute, we're trying to have a more modern approach to education, to get people to be more visual and more open-minded, and engage the students in thinking more about what they're learning. And it certainly has a very good effect. Just recently in Thailand, one of the devotees, one of our lady devotees, she had come to Thailand and she was giving a course for the devotees there, and she got them all to do some work together. She put them into groups and gave them paper and pens and let them get together. She was talking about mercy. And then she said to all the students, now I want to hear from you how to make the mercy flow. And all the students, they had pens and papers and they were drawing, and they really got into it. They really got enlivened. It was a wonderful exercise for them. So like that, we're trying to encourage new ways, the more modern approaches to education. We don't want just the dry, sit in the classroom, like, I don't know about you, but I know sometimes when I was at school, you would go to class and you just go to sleep, you'd nod out, You didn't find them very inspiring or inspirational. But with the Mayapur Institute, we're trying to be more visionary, and we want to encourage people and bring them to a higher level of awareness and get them to take part in everything. We want people to become more awakened to the purpose of education and to use that education for the service of Lord Krishna. That is the real fulfillment of teaching. So, by profession, I could probably say I'm a teacher. You know, I taught English for a while. I needed a job in China one time and I taught English. Another time I was in the Philippines, I taught yoga. Just try to meet the people. So teaching is an opportunity where we get that opportunity to meet the students and to be with the students and to learn with the students. Hanumat Prasad Swami, my dear god brother, he said one time something which I thought was very interesting. He said, universities is where the teachers learn their own subjects. Teachers at university, they learn their own subjects when they have to teach it. And I also feel I've greatly benefited by having the opportunity to present some of the courses which we do with the Bhakti Vaibhav, Bhakti Shastri and everything. It's a wonderful opportunity to refresh ourselves of the contents of these scriptures. It's so important for us to be regularly hearing and to be hearing again and again. So education is an ongoing thing. You never graduate really in the Mayapur Institute. There's always more to be learned. There's always more to be heard and chanted. So this is how I feel about education, that it never stops. In China, again, because I basically preach a lot in China, we have a saying in Chinese that they say, well, I won't tell you the Chinese, but the meaning is, the older you get, the more there is to learn, and there's always something more to learn. Even though you think you've learned everything, there's always more to learn. And it's like that in Krishna consciousness, that we never know everything. We have to learn more and more. And it's a wonderful opportunity for us to have an institute like the Mayapur Institute and our other institutes also, that we can take part in these educational programs and develop our own self by hearing and chanting and very relishable association with devotees who are all sharing the same desire, who want to learn, who want to go deeper into Srila Prabhupada's books. Srila Prabhupada wrote to the temple president, a devotee called Gopijana Ballabha Prabhu. It was in Brooklyn. He wrote to him and he said, Prabhupada was giving initiation to some devotees by mail, and he said, encourage the devotees to cram my purports. Cramming something, you know, just like you have an exam tomorrow, you stay up all night, you cram for the exam, you know. So Prabhupada used that. He said, the devotees should cram my purports. So Prabhupada certainly wanted us to study his books like that. Very important for us. And we can never think we know everything. There's always so much more for us to learn. So the Mayapur Institute have this wonderful opportunity to encourage people to enter into their spiritual education, to begin the spiritual education. As I said earlier, material education is quite readily available. People spend a lot of time, a lot of money on material education. And they go to foreign countries, you know, here in India, a lot of people go to, some go to America, some go to Australia, some go to Malaysia, just to study. And we hope in the future more and more people will come and also study, and they do. Some are coming to come and study here in Mayapur. Just like we see Srivas Prabhu coming from Africa, from Ghana, and coming all the way here to study Bhakti Shastri. And of course he's teaching it there. This afternoon, Dhira Damodar Maharaj will also be with us. So he's also from Africa, and he's also a very scholarly devotee. He studies a lot of Srila Prabhupada's books, and he also teaches for us. So we encourage all the devotees, all of you, you may be students, but we want you all to become teachers, right? Lord Chaitanya said, Amar Agyaya Guruhana Tarae Desh. By my order, become gurus, all of you. You all have to become gurus. You have to go and teach the message of Krishna everywhere. And certainly you will get a response. But we have to make it inspiring for people. We have to think how to get them interested. And certainly Srila Prabhupada, somehow he could do it. He went there to New York. It was a degraded place. He went to the Lower East Side, all drug addicts and winos. But Srila Prabhupada tolerated all these conditions, and he was successful. He got people interested in Krishna consciousness. You don't need a lot of people. You get one sun. One moon, we say. One moon is better than millions of stars. So Srila Prabhupada got people like Mukunda Goswami and his wife Janaki, and then they went and they brought Shamsundar and Malati and Gurudas and Yamuna, and like that. He got these amazing devotees who had so much talent and potential. And Srila Prabhupada could use them in Krishna consciousness, to open Krishna consciousness to the world. So Mayapur Institute can also introduce the teachings of the scriptures to the world. We hope Mayapur Institute will go on to become like the Ivy League. Just like in the USA, they have Princeton and Harvard and Yale, they're like the Ivy League. So we hope Mayapur Institute, Vrindavan Institute, these places, they will become like the Ivy League for spiritual education. Jiva Goswami had a little school in Vrindavan, and he had students like Narottam Das, Shyamananda Pandit, and Srinivas Acharya. And you know, he didn't have a lot of students, but these people like Narottam Das, Srinivas and Shyamananda, they went and they preached, and they made so many devotees by their preaching, because they'd studied under Jiva Goswami in Vrindavan. And then they went out and preached, and they made a lot of impact on the world. So many devotees. So the same way people come here to Mayapur, they come and study, and then they go off and they preach. And some of them go and write books even. And they publish their books, and they get devotees, they get students, they get disciples. And in this way the whole movement expands. So this Mayapur Institute is like the heart of this educational program. So we have a big role to play, all of us. We want to take part in this. We're very tiny individuals, but we all work together, and it has a nice effect. All of us cooperating together to do the service of Krishna and Srila Prabhupada. Of course, Srila Prabhupada, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, they are our spiritual pioneers, and we are following their example. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada, he had also the program Bhakti Shastri, Bhakti Vaibhav, Bhakti Vedanta, and like Bhakti Sarvabhauma. So when Srila Prabhupada introduced this to us, he was taking it from Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati. He was giving us the same message which his own Guru Maharaj had given. So it's all coming in parampara. So we're very much a part of this parampara. And we want to continue that. We hope it will go on for many, many more generations. It will continue to grow and to expand. So thank you all very much. Srila Prabhupada ki. Go back to Vrinda ki.
Thank you. I would now like to request Bhakti Vighna Vinash Narasimha Maharaj to please share his words.
Hare Krishna. Om Jnanatamrandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chaksurun Militanyena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. So, I'm thinking that the best solution to re-spiritualize the world is to promote Sankirtan. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is stated, Kali Yuga Dharma Hari Nam Sankirtan. The Dharma in the Kali Yuga is Sankirtan. And the more we promote Sankirtan, the more the whole planet can be re-spiritualized. His Holiness Narasimha Swami Maharaj just came from Kumbh Mela, and he was there for a few weeks, and he was telling me how there are so many devotees there, and every day they're having very nice Harinam Sankirtan. Of course, there are millions of people coming to Kumbh Mela, and we need millions of devotees to go there and preach. Already I heard they distributed 270,000 Bhagavad Gitas. Yeah? So, some efforts are being made in these kind of functions. Of course, it's only once every 12 years we get such a golden opportunity of how many? 400 million people or something? Huh? 450 million people. So to preach to, like half the population of India in one place is very nice. We need to take advantage of these kind of programs. We definitely want to encourage Sankirtan though. It has to go on regularly. And there are a number of devotees who've committed their lives to Sankirtan. We have, for example, the Namaratha, what is it? Mahavishnu Swamis, what are they called? Namaruchi, yeah, Namaruchi. They travel around the world. Of course, what we need though, people to stay in one place, not just travel around everywhere. You need to be one, just like here in Mayapur, we have a number of dedicated devotees every day. They do Harinam. So everyone gets an opportunity for the taste of the holy name. For the neophyte devotees, it's enlivening, it's joyful to be chanting the holy name and to take part in an activity. And for the very senior devotees, it's sublime. So it doesn't matter whether you are a new man or a very advanced senior devotee, everyone can join the Sankirtan party and be very purified and benefited by the association of the holy name. We want bliss, you get it very easily out on Sankirtan. So everyone is encouraged to come out, join the Sankirtan and help to re-spiritualize the planet. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Maharaj. So we will loudly chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra to, that is the best reciprocation with Maharaj's wisdom. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Govinda